Welcome everyone to another cryptocurrency video. This is for my beginner folks because there's a lot of you guys. We got our Instagram up and running. A few of you guys have found out about us from there. This is the flopping groper making a splash yet again with another how-to video on how to place orders and exit positions on Bybit. Alright, so as you can see, here's this ETH position we're in. It's a super meager, small position. I just want to do this to show you guys how to do all this stuff. And I don't want to use like the fake exchange or like a practice exchange. I kind of just want to use like real stuff. And this is just some referral pittance money that I had sitting on here. So I just figured I would put it short. So like I kind of entered up here. I can't remember if it was here and I like could have cashed out and re-entered or not. I can't remember if I entered the top here or not, but either way, it was only 87 contracts, but we are actually 75% up. And so here's a good opportunity for me to show you guys a market because we have pretty good profit and this isn't that much money. So I'm just gonna like market exit. So you could just do 87, and since it's a market order, you're not going to put in the price here like you would with a limit order. The market order is just going to get you the best price right now that's available in the order books, and you're also going to pay a slightly higher fee. So we're going to do our 87 contracts, and we could go long right now, and that would cancel our short position, or we could just push this close by market, and let's just do that. As you can see, at market price, buy 87 contracts, yada yada. Perfect. And we have exited our position. So that was a market order, super easy. Just know that you're paying higher fees when you do that, but that is the best way to get in and out of the market if you have to do that in a pinch. Next we're going to do the limit order here. This is another opportunity to show you guys the limit orders here too, because it actually looks like this thing is going to pop up here. So I'm on the 4 hour right now, and we are on this long-term kind of support. We're on this trend here. I drew this green line, and we actually just kind of tapped that. So there's really no way to know if this is going to get violated more, but this is a nice, I guess it's a nice place to long here, especially since it's below these two MAs. We've got the 50 and the 100 MA kind of pulling this thing up. We got the support bouncing it up. So I'm going to do a limit order long. That way we save some money on fees. We'll just do it like right below where we're at. So 133.2. And I'm pretty sure it's like 100. Yeah, I did the math before. But with this amount of ETH, I can afford 149. So my old trade was like 87 contracts. After that one successful trade, now we're at 149 contracts. So it'll be interesting to see what I can build this little pittance money up to. But either way, we're going to just push buy. We're going to go long. Confirm. And there you go, guys. So this is the difference between a limit and a market order. So you can actually see the limit order on the chart here. If it reaches that line, then we will enter a position. So we have not technically entered the position yet. And by trading preemptively like this, you can see in our active orders here. By trading preemptively like this, you not only are you saving money on fees, but you're also going to get a better position too. So hopefully this thing comes down a little bit and snags our order and then goes back up. Alright, so the next type of order we're going to do is a conditional. So like let's say this just starts tanking and we went long and it just starts tanking. So what we can do is we can set a stop loss with our conditional order. And you can do market stops and limit stops. I suppose the best way to explain market versus limit stops, and like how the fact that you have to like punch in this number twice here, is with a market stop loss, you only need to set the trigger, the stop loss trigger itself. So let's just say 132 will be your trigger, and this is how many contracts you want your stop to be. And the reason why you can't fill anything here is because once this is triggered at 132, it will trigger a market stop, like a market order. So you'll just flop grope into the market instantly. Whereas if you click limit here, you have to put both of these here as the same number. The reason why is because once this 132 is reached, that is when the limit order is placed. So a limit order is like a preemptive trade. A limit conditional order is like a pre-preemptive trade. It's like, if the price action reaches this amount, then I will set a limit order where if the price reaches that amount, then we will enter or exit or whatever. I know it's a little hard to explain, but it's another reason why I like to stick with market orders here, only with the conditionals. Otherwise, when you're doing regular orders, you want to stick to your limit. But if you're doing a conditional, the market stop loss is the safest way to go. And a stop loss itself is a very safe way to trade. So it makes sense to do a market order with a stop, because if Bitcoin is spiking down, you want to be getting out of that trade ASAP if you are long, and you can re-enter at the bottom or something. But to set a limit here, let's say you set a limit at 132, so your trigger triggers, so the price hits 132 for a split second, and then your order goes in the book, and you're like, oh, I wanna sell at 132. Well, the price is dumping, and now the price is $100, and so your short order at $132 will never get filled. Whereas if you had a market order, the moment that trigger is filled, you'll get the best price instantly. Like, there's no way that you will still remain in your position. The only problem is the best price in the order book might be a little different than this number. So give or take, you could lose or gain give or take a few bucks. What if this thing just spikes down and liquidates you like that? Like BitMEX does it. Crypto in general does it sometimes. So how do you protect yourself from that? So let's just say, like, you want to pick like a previous point of relevance. So I'd say like this range right here was a good point where, like, if it were to fall, it could potentially bounce off that point and go back up again. So let's go like a little bit below that. We're gonna go to 132.4. So if it goes to 132.4, which is about right here, then we will actually go short. We're going to go short 149 contracts. And what this does is it allows for us to accept a specific amount of risk rather than risking everything, risking liquidation to get a certain target that you want. The stop losses can be good, sometimes they can be bad. And it's up to you whether you want to use them or not. Assuming that we were like super in the green, let's just say like you longed and it pumped. You could set a conditional order just kind of slightly below the current price action instead of exiting, because it could keep going up. So why would you exit your entire position when you could still be making more money? So what you would do is you would set a conditional order below the current price action, where if it does start falling down, then you cash out for profit. But otherwise, you can let your trade ride and maximize your profits. And that's called a take profit. And now, if you are someone who gets confused with the long versus short dynamic, especially when it comes to stop losses, just remember that if you are in a short, you cancel a short with a long, so a stop loss for a short would be called a stop buy. If you are long, then you would cancel that long position with a short, meaning that it is a stop sell. And so it's just the opposite, and that's another thing you gotta remember. And of course you have your margin here. This is just how much you want to multiply your money by, but obviously the more of other people's money you use, the closer the liquidation price is to the current price action, making the trade even riskier. And in a market such as crypto, where you have these big spikes up and down, these are your stop loss hunts. These are wicks designed to skewer and gut and impale anyone that is using too high leverage. So keep that in mind. So as I'm looking at this, it actually looks like it's zooming through this MA line here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cancel my limit orders. I was just doing those to show you guys, and I am going to flop and grope into this market like a flop and groper, and you're going to see it here, folks. So I'm going to go 150 contracts long. Bam. And we're going to let this ride. I think this is going to go up. I'm going to set a target here for this trade. So we've entered the trade. We are in for 150 contracts. So we are in a position, which means that to be extra safe, we should set a target now too. When you enter the market, you should also be planning when you're going to be leaving the market as well. A lot of noob traders, they'll enter a market because of sometimes it'll even be on a small time frame. They'll enter because of some small head and shoulders they saw on like a 5 or 15 or 30 minute time frame, and then they wait till tomorrow to start thinking about when they're going to exit. That's not the right way to think. Like when you're entering this trade, like that little head and shoulders that you saw probably had already reached its target, and what you should have done is set a limit order to catch any kind of tall wick and cash out of that trade and take your scalp and run, because you are a small fry. You are bacteria, the phytoplankton on the bottom of the ocean, scraping by with whatever you can get. So you can't be trading like whales if you don't have that much money. So take your profits whenever you see 12 to 15%, take that and run. Maybe leave a little bit to ride, but take your profits and compound that, because if you do it every day, then you'll have a good amount of money after a while. So yeah, we're gonna set this target. Sometimes it's good to zoom out. And, you know, these ETH trades I've been doing, I've kind of been letting them ride for a few days, and it worked out last time. So let's just set a nice target halfway up this big candle here. So how about and a little conservative too. How about this point right here, this previous line? So 144.50. So at 144.5, we will sell 150 contracts, and that's a limit order. So we won't be paying extra fees. We'll be making a small rebate, but there you go. So right now we have a stop loss down below us to prevent us from losing any money, and then we have a target to cash out in a few days when this thing pumps up a bit. And if it stops out, no biggie. We can always re-enter or recalculate our position. And we are in this uptrend, so the trend is your friend until the end. If we get some sort of sign of this line breaking down in reversal, obviously we can always swap to short because we stopped out and we didn't take that big of a loss. Another little tidbit is you always want to be setting your target a lot higher up or a lot farther away than like your stop is. You want to risk less to get more. This little space right here in between like the green and red lines here, this is the loss that you're okay with. Like how much money are you okay with losing? So you don't want to be setting a target at like 134 or something. Even if you did win that trade, for what you risked, you didn't get that much out of that. The juice was not worth the squeeze. So you always want to be setting your targets, making sure that you're actually making profit instead of exiting too quick, not taking enough profit, not taking enough risk in that sense. I'm going to get rid of these MAs real quick, and I'm going to show you guys a few indicators that I really love. The first one is the Keltner channel. I was looking at this earlier. I always like to change the colors on it too. So as you can see, we are at the bottom of the Keltner. So not only are we riding this bottom green support line up, but we've also kind of gotten into this oversold position where it had to snap back up and meet the bottom of the Keltner channel here. The Keltner channel is a great one because it's not like Bollinger Bands where it accounts for all the volatility and it gets super huge and then super tight. It's just calculated based off of the base candlestick range. So it tries its best to keep the majority of the price action within the Keltner channel. And so what you can do is you can short when it goes out of the Keltner channel on the top, and you can long when it goes out of the Keltner channel on the bottom. and it's a real great way to trade. And sometimes one side is favored over others, you know, like longing the bottoms is obviously a better strategy in an uptrend than shorting the peaks. However, it can work out both ways for you, especially if you're like scalping and you get out super quick, like as soon as that, like this indication to sell that, like if you caught that right there, you could have instantly sold for profit and maybe re-entered. So it's good for the longer plays and the shorter plays. So that's why I like the Keltner channels. We're getting a nice long indication there too with the Keltner channel. The second one is the stochastic RSI. So this is an oscillator, and I would just recommend you choose one oscillator that you love. But as you can see, I haven't even looked at this yet today, but it's in this ascending state here. So we're getting increased momentum, but we're not overbought yet. So there's room to go up. I like that sign. We're not getting a short indication from the stochastic RSI, which means that it's safer to long right now. With the stochastic RSIs, you also want to be looking for crosses. So it's kind of a lagging indicator. It kind of shows you stuff like right as it's happening. So you can't really fully analyze it until after that candlestick had closed. But sometimes you can catch these crosses right in time. The cross basically symbolizes a reversal. Like you can see right here, this is the candle right before the dump. See how if you like, it snaps to the candle. So right here was the dump, but right here we had seen the cross on the stochastic RSI. If you look down there, the cross had happened right here. So to see that cross in that overbought position, that was a nice little short indication there. And then of course there was this cross in the oversold position right here. Let's see here. The cross showed up here. There was still a little more pump that you could have caught if you longed on that too. So those crosses are nice to look out for as well. I like that stochastic RSI indicator. To compare the Keltner channel and the stochastic RSI is going to give you a lot of indications. However, they won't be as accurate. And then the Keltner channel is going to give you fewer indications, but they're going to be a lot more accurate. And of course, the bigger the time frame, the more important these indications are. There are some features that are coming to Bybit very soon. The mobile app, there's going to be trading view integration, reduce only and close on trigger. So they've been updating it and staying on top of stuff and doing things very quickly. Like it seems like they're listening to the community feedback really well. They've been reaching out to CryptoFace. Me and Face are working with Bybit to kind of make this a better exchange, because it does have its weaknesses. Like we're only trading with ETH and BTC pairs. The volume's a little low. There's a few things missing. It's hard to like, you can't like click this and move it. We really want people to be able to click and drag these orders and adjust them in the chart like that. It really helps for the fast-paced trading that a lot of us do, because otherwise you have to cancel it and then like retype in a new order. So hopefully they get that in, and they've been really good about listening to feedback. So I'm really excited with how this exchange evolves. The interface I really like. It's a nice friendly interface, especially with the night mode. And I love trading it for my ETH and BTC pairs, because I don't trade with a super large volume. So make sure you guys use my affiliate link here. I'll have it in the description. And if you have any questions about Bybit, just message me on Discord. My name is flopping space groper, all lowercase, and my hashtag code is 8090. So you message me, don't message any fakes, and make sure you join our CryptoFace Discord group with over 10,000 members and subscribers. Looking forward to making more videos for you guys, and you guys have a good one.